You alright? How we all doing? So, I've done a gig last night at the Red Lion where I do this once a month thing. And I'm just going to talk about soloing for you who are doing it again. Because I'm putting up a video, well, later or tomorrow. Just to help people do that. But anyway, what I'm talking about is, the reason I'm driving, because I've got to do a lesson when I get back. So I've just come from the gym. What I mean is, talking about improvising, people learning scales, and it's annoying for you with the wheel, ain't it? With scales and everything, I can't keep it like this, otherwise I crash all the time. So I'm going to show you a clip of a gig which I done. I improvised a solo over the song "Ain't Nobody" by Shaka Khan. It's in a key of E flat, which is not a nice key for guitarists, but if you practice hard and you learn all your keys, you can do it. Just let these cross so they going across. You're right. So I just want to show you, and what I want to talk about a minute is, don't be hard on yourself if you're learning to improvise, because improvising basically is a musical language. So when you start and you learn that basic scale, you've just got the words, but you don't know how to put them together. And that's one way of looking at it. And you know, you might see a guitarist who's playing for ages, but their vocabulary is bigger than yours. We're still repeating ourselves, but then we can twist it and tell the story differently. So what I mean by that, we use the same phrases, same licks, but you learn to tweak them. There's one part in the solo, I think, where I weren't happy with the sound, and I knelt down to change my pedal, and I just held the note for a bit longer. So it gave me that time to tweak my pedal and stuff. So number one, don't worry about that if you've not been playing a long time, because it comes with time. The other thing you want to work on as well, you get a lot of people going on about, oh, you got to learn these scales, do this, and if you do this now and do that. What you want to work on, you got to do a scale first, but shouldn't be looking at it while I'm driving. You've got to also work on, do that window up a bit, keep the other one open, which is most guitarists don't do. They don't work on their rhythm, their time, and their feel. They're the most important things, because if you haven't got that, doesn't matter if you know all the scales in the world, it's not going to sound great. You're going to sound bland and boring. There's a lot of guitarists out there who know all the stuff, but when you hear them play, they've got no energy in their playing. They've got no groove and no feel. So be aware of that. So when you find a guitarist you like, what you think is cool, or whatever instrument you're playing, do a deep dive, if you want to call it that, and find out what is behind them notes, what makes him sound better than anyone else. And time feel, you could say, let's say for example, use Dave Gilmour. He's not a fast player, but he puts them notes in the right places, and job done. He puts goosebumps on the back of your neck. So that's what I'm talking about. Don't just learn scales, think about how to make it sound good, and use just two notes, and don't beat yourself up. It's not going to come after a year. Imagine if you learned French for a year and you studied it every day, you're not going to speak it fluently, are you? You're going to struggle with it. It just takes time. And like last night's gig, and this is another point, yeah, so when you're playing with musicians, there's certain factors what make you play better. Number one is the sound you've got obviously coming out your amp. You've got to be happy with that. Number two, the sound of the room. But number three, which is probably most important, is the other musicians. Because sometimes on a gig you could have great musicians, and you could have one, it could be the drummer or say the bass player. If you got one of them components which is not locking in, or is not, it sounds okay but he's not grooving, that can make me solo differently. And a good analogy for this is to think of it like a group of friends, right? You might have a group of friends who you know, and every time you get together you just chat, like, and you have a laugh, and you don't actually, gonna do that window a minute while I do this, you don't actually have to think about what to say, it just comes out. And that's the same with a good band. If you've got the right components, so like when I've done this solo, I wasn't even thinking, to be honest, I didn't even think much of the solo. I just thought, oh, it sounds okay. But then when you listen back, I thought, I'm quite pleased with that. But when I was doing the solo, I wasn't thinking. Like, what I'm saying is, when you're with these people, some people you're with, you have to think of something to say. Do you know, and you get them awkward silences. Music can be like that. If you're with the wrong musicians, you struggle to come up with something, and then you just do contrived, boring stuff. So that is really important. If you've got the right set of musicians, you won't have to think about what you got to play. So yeah, the solo, it's over that. I listened back and I thought, actually, I was quite pleased with that. Now the other thing, if you're looking to improvise online or learn, there's a lot of people out there on YouTube and stuff who are teaching, and they're doing it in their room, and they've got slick production and everything, which is great. And you might see them play, and they play this wonderful stuff, but they've probably rehearsed it a million times, right? So then you think, oh, I'm never going to get as good as that. But you will. The point I'm making is, look for people who actually do it for their living, like in real life, like who do gigs. Check out their playing, because you get teachers who just teach what they've been taught. So they can only show you what they've been shown, right? Now, if I was going to someone for lessons, I would want to watch them play live first. I would want to see how they improvise, because if they're not great, they might show you the scales and everything like that and all the right terminology. But if they can't create a good solo themselves, they're not going to be able to show you. That is it, really. So if you're going for someone online or whatever, check out their playing in a real life situation, not in a room where they've probably done 100 takes. Do it, you want to see them playing live or taking a solo, improvising, if that's what you're getting into. I think. Well, I was going to say another thing now, but it's gone. I better go anyway, I've got to have some lunch. So anyway, here's the clip. Let me know what you think. And listen, as well, if you watch my videos and you haven't subscribed, then please do, because I'm trying to build it up. And it's just nice to have like a community of guitarists all commenting and saying what they think about it. You might not like the solo, you might go, it's all right, but see what you think. All right, here it comes. See you later. Bye.